many. So the stakes are really high for those educators who you say, and we know, have the power to either support or dismantle systems that many argue have historically marginalized so many students. So the question here is, with that background, it's a kind of way to start here. Have educators come to terms with that power and responsibility, you think?
I think that there's a lot of work to be done in that area. And I think that it's all about clarifying one very important piece. Schools in the United States were conceptualized to promote a white, monolingual, and monocultural, heteronormative, often patriarchal perspective of teaching and learning. And so when you talk about good instruction is good instruction, like I challenge that and I say, no, good instruction is not good instruction, because so much of the pedagogy, the instructional practices that we actually leverage in the classroom are created and are promoted to exclude culturally and linguistically diverse student communities. And so when we say good instruction is good instruction, I call bullshit, because what we are really saying is that it's good instruction for all kids, when in reality, the strategies that we're promoting are specifically lifeboats and equity work for those marginalized student communities. And
so the question then is becoming, I think, more and more of a question as teachers and school districts are thinking more about their multilingual learners, which is important. How can the C6, I'll just call it C6 BIF because it's easier,
sure,
be used in other programs, those monolingual programs, to help support and scale both culturally and linguistically sustaining pedagogical practices? Can it be incorporated into educators' everyday lesson planning routines?
Three things about the C6 that are important to remind folks about. One, lesson planning is a political act. With every lesson that we design, we are either maintaining or dismantling systems of oppression in the school building. Number two, we have to embrace translanguaging research and cross-linguistic connections. And the third tenet is that we really have to create desmadre, as I like to call it, in the name of equidad and social justice, that anti-bias, anti-racism, critical consciousness, sociocultural competence work. And that third piece, that's where the culture learning target really plays a role. The culture learning target, which really has been ignored in most classrooms, contextualizes the content and the language learning targets. It's the why, and it's the way that we actually disrupt those systems of oppression that exist in every single classroom. If kids don't own the content, the language, and the culture that is taking place, the learning that is taking place, then we in fact become the oppressors. And so it doesn't matter what activities we plan after that. If kids don't know and can't verbalize, this is how I will access the content through listening or through metalinguistic awareness or through writing, if they don't know that these are the four ways that we're dismantling systems that oppress, then everything else is going to be much more difficult to make happen. And so that lesson planning process and that student ownership of learning targets is definitely the first step in equity in terms of how we facilitate and co-facilitate instruction alongside the students that we serve.